Hello everyone, I am Shivasri Pal. I am a Prime Minister's Research Fellow, and now we are solving this 2022 GATE examination question from the paper Life Sciences, question number 91. So the question states, in the human body, which of the following is or are involved in processing of a foreign antigen? A. B cells, B. Macrophages, C. Red blood cells, and D. Platelets. Okay, so I should mention here that this is a MSQ question. So that means multiple answers can be correct. Now, this question is talking about processing of a foreign antigen. So what happens when an antigen, which is foreign to our body, so when it enters our body, what are the cells that respond to engulfing that antigen or to um, encounter that antigen? So, what happens when a foreign antigen enters in our body? How does the immune system respond? And what are the cells in our immune system that respond in this condition? So, for more information, you can visit this NPTEL course, Immunology. And in this particular lecture, innate immunity, it is very well mentioned that how these cells they are involved when there is a antigen or there is an infiltration of any antigen or any pathogen in our body. Now, for processing of the foreign antigens, the cells that respond first in our body and the cells that are involved in presentation of this antigen, these cells are called the APCs. APC or the antigen presenting cells. Now there are many types of antigen presenting cells. These cells, what they do, they are the first responders when there is an infiltration of any antigen or any pathogen. They respond to the situation, they go to the site of infection, and then they can phagocytose the antigen, they can internalize the antigen, and then also they express some receptors on their surface with which they can present this antigen. So suppose they engulf this antigen, then they can chop off the antigen and present um, a part of this antigen molecules on its surface so that it can be recognized by some other cells which will initiate the immune reaction, right? So there are several functions of these antigens. So now APCs or antigen presenting cells can be divided into professional APCs and atypical APCs. Professional and atypical APCs. So what are the professional APCs? Dendritic cells, macrophages, and the B cells. These are very crucial for our body because these cells come to the site of infection very quickly, especially the dendritic cells. The dendritic cells are the first responders and they quickly localize to the site of infection. We know that uh, neutrophils are also very important for this function. So the dendritic cells, what they do is that both the dendritic cells and macrophages, they can phagocytose the antigen, so they can perform phagocytosis. They express these receptors like DAMs and PAMs. What are PAMs? Pathogen associated molecular patterns, or DAMs are damage associated molecular patterns. Then these cells, the dendritic cells and macrophages, they localize to the tissues, they localize to the T cell zone of lymph nodes for activation of the T cells. Then they constitutively express high levels of MHC class II molecules and the antigen processing machinery. So we know when the antigen is engulfed by the antigen-presenting cells, they are processed by a complex mechanism. There is a whole machinery involved which processes this antigen, and then these antigens are presented on the surface of this epices by the MHC molecules. Now, these MHC molecules are recognized by the T cell receptors so that they can activate the T cells. The T cells can be activated by by recognizing these MHC bound antigen particles. Okay, and they also express these co-stimulatory molecules for activation of the T cells. So we know that when there is a TCR MHC interaction, for a TCR, TCR is T cell receptor. In a TCR MHC interaction, there are many other co-stimulatory molecules also involved, like CD28, CD80, CD86. These are the molecules that are involved in the co-stimulatory interaction. So these are also expressed on the antigen-presenting cells. Now coming to B cells are also very important APCs. They can internalize the antigens by the B cell receptor because we know that the B cell receptors are basically the antibodies. Now these antibodies can bind to the antigen and then they can be internalized by these by these B cells, and they also express MHC class II molecules and the antigen presenting machinery along with the co-stimulatory molecules. So B cells, macrophages, dendritic cells, these are the professional antigen-presenting cells. There are also some atypical antigen-presenting cells, like the mast cells, the basophils, the eosinophils, and the ILC. So the these type of atypical APCs also express MHC class II molecules and the antigen-presenting functions limited to the specific immune environments. So these atypical APCs do not function in all environments. So there are some environments where they can function. Now we will mainly focus on the professional antigen presenting cells like the dendritic cell, the macrophage, and the B cells. So here you can see these are the cell types. So, for example, there is a viral antigen which has infected the dendritic cell. The macrophage, it can phagocytose the bacteria, and the B cells, they can recognize any toxin product with the help of their BCRs. Where are they located? The location are shown in these diagrams. Like in the lymph node, the dendritic cells are located in the T cell areas, the macrophages are located everywhere in the lymph node. The B cells, they are obviously in the follicles. And how do they take the antigen? Like macropinocytosis, phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is used by macrophages, and for B cell, the BCR, the B cell receptor, the immunoglobulins, right? What are the MHCs that they express? And the co-stimulatory molecules, they're constituted by mature non-phagocytic lymphoid dendritic cells. They can be induced on the um, by uptaking the antigen. Their production can be induced. And what are the types of antigen that can be presented? Like the and the dendritic cell, they can express the peptides, viral antigens, allergens. Macrophages can present particulate antigens, intracellular and extracellular pathogens. B cells can present soluble antigens, toxins, and viruses, right? So, and their location is also given. So, these are the professional antigen presenting cells, the dendritic cell, the macrophage, the B cell. Now, coming to the question, it is asked which of the following is or are involved in processing of a foreign antigen. So it is basically asking what are the APCs. Now we know B cell is one of them. B cell is one antigen presenting cell. Macrophages is also one antigen presenting cell. Now, red blood cells, we know that red blood cells do not present antigen, same as platelets. Platelets also do not present antigen. So, our answer here are A and B. Options A and B, they are involved in processing of the foreign antigen. So, that's it. Thank you.